Morning guys, welcome back to the shop. This is Jim. I've seen a couple of videos lately about truing up or trying to improve the accuracy of the cheap Chinese 3-jaw chuck on a lathe. And I've got a Grizzly G0752 benchtop lathe. And I've never been terribly concerned about it. I know it's not perfect and I didn't expect that when I bought it. But I was curious. I thought I'd do some kind of unscientific tests here. I'm kind of set up now with the indicator, and it's a cheap Chinese indicator, so it goes with the lathe. But I've got a piece of steel bar in here. I'm not even sure. This probably just came from the hardware store, so it's probably not straight. But I'm pretty close to the headstock in the chuck here. So it's 1.5 inches about where I'm at. It's not quite 1.5 inches from the end of the jaws. I've got it marked here with a blue line where the indicator is riding on the bar, and a red line there to try to put this back in, because I'm going to be moving stuff around. So I'm going to try to put it back in the same spot every time. I probably won't move the saddle left or right, so that'll stay the same. And I've got the jaws numbered where they're at right now. And of course you can move these, you can rotate them around. They have to go in sequence, but you can rotate them. And that's the big deal that I've seen, is that you might be able to rotate these position wise, clock them around 120 degrees or 240 and find a better spot. So that's the end goal. But first I thought what I'd do is just show you what I got here. This is just I just kind of slapped this all together, got everything set up, and then turned on the camera for you. So I'm at, I've got a mark here with the number 3. Here's the number 3 jaw over here, and that's where we're at. And I think I'm seeing about 4 thousandths. And in full disclosure, I kind of did this the other day, and I actually shot some video, but I didn't post any of it because I wasn't happy with the editing or the outcome of it. But I thought I had it closer to like 1 or maybe 2, something like that. Better than 4 thousandths. So here just randomly, and it was a different piece of steel bar I was using the other day, so this might be crooked. I didn't do anything special. I just chucked this thing in there and tightened it down. It's not, I didn't like wail on it, so it's not any tighter or looser than I would probably do for normal stock. So there we are, back where we started at 0. I've zeroed this out, of course, and so we got 4 thousandths. The first thing I'm going to do here is just rotate the bar. So I'm back where we started with the number 3 pointing over here at me. And I'm just going to rotate this thing about 180 degrees. So I'll put the 3 back there. I can't really see it that good, and I'm just kind of wiggling this as I tighten it up to try to let it naturally center up, just snug it down reasonable. And let's see what we got now. And I'll probably move, yeah, see, they were already better, I think. I'm going to move this, find the low spot or the high spot. So there's 0. I hope you guys can see that good. So there's 1.5, not, yeah, you could call it 2. So there's 2. I think we went from 4 to 2 just by rotating the stock around. So, and I'm not a machinist. This is just a hobby for me. I do a lot of die-cast conversions, some RC truck and construction junk. So, and then like yesterday, I had to edge the driveway. I needed a spacer for I've got a little 4-stroke rototiller that has an edger wheel, and I needed a spacer. So I made a spacer out of Delrin. Just simple stuff. I'm not doing production work here, so. But it's fun for me, and I like learning and getting better at it. So if you guys are watching, have comments, things that I can do, mistakes, things to do to improve it, just observations, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm always happy to have a discussion, or I love getting good help. Of course, you get what you pay for, I guess. So there were 2. We'll go ahead and stop it at 3, at the number 3 again, where we were. Let's see, I'll bring the chuck. See, here's my science fallacy, or my science shortcoming, that, should I stop it here with the chuck where it was, or the 3 over here, bring that around? Let's rotate it one more time. Let's try and go back to where we were and see if it goes back to 4. So we'll rotate this back around to where it was. Give it a little wiggle, snug it up. And I'm gonna rotate it and find the high spot right. There's a 0. Yeah, so we're back to almost 4. So I don't think this bar's terribly straight. And so rotating it may be compensating for air in the chuck. So let's rotate it one more time. I'll go about 90 degrees this time. So that's about 3. Let's do something else now. So I think I've kind of exhausted that, and I'm not even sure what that means. But I'm going to move closer to the chuck, as close as I can get here. Because if it's bent, it's curving from where it holds it. All right. So let's go in pretty close to the chuck, and I wasn't even watching the indicator, so what do we got? So there is back to 2, and then let's try and rotate the bar. So there's the 3, the number 3 jaw. Put that 3 that I marked on the bar at 180 from me, which seemed like the best. So we're back to 2. We're at 2 there. So let's keep it where it's at there. Actually, I'm going to move over here. And see, there's 1. I'm going to put the number 3 that I marked here on the rod at the top, and then I'm going to rotate the jaws and see what we get. So we're starting out. Let me adjust here. That's 1/1000th, looks like to me. And that, that kind of accuracy for me is pretty good. My technique's probably making more deviation than that, because I'm kind of deviated. All right, so there's 1/1000ths. We're starting at 1/1000ths. We're going to take the bar out. We're going to rotate the jaws, and we're going to put the bar back in and check it again. So we're starting at 1/1000th. And I'm looking at it, trying to decide how to position stuff and then how to put it back, because I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, rotating it backwards. And so I'll bring the 1 to where the 2 is at. And the 2 goes to where the 3 is at now, and the 3 will go to where the 1 is at. And then when I get that done, where do I position that? So that's pointing up and the 2 is there, so the 1's going to be there when I'm done rotating. I'll bang that bar on the lathe as I take it out, that way it'll be even more different. Roll this out of the way. And which one of these is the 3 gonna fall out first, or do you know? There's the 3. And there's the 2. So we bring this over here, and the way I do this is go backwards till it snaps, and then just a little bit locks it in. That's the 1 in the 2. Here goes the 2 in the 3. And then I just go like till it grabs it. That way they don't fall out when I get around to the bottom. And put the bar back in. Try to pick anything up. Snugged up. And now I forget what I told you I was going to do here. I thought the 1 was going where the 2 was. And I'm not, you know. You guys will tell me in the comments, I bet. So, trying to find the high spot so it starts at 0. We can count one way or the other. I guess I'm going the wrong way, but so there's 3. Well, let's rotate the bar 180. 3's at the top. Right there. Go the other direction. So there's almost 5 there, so it got even worse. So far, the biggest thing to pay attention to here, I think, is where the best accuracy is with reference to the location of the jaws. So it was where they're labeled 1 to 1, 2 to 2. So now we're in 1 is in the 2 slot, so I would call that the 2nd position. So let's rotate to the 3rd position, see what we get. These jaws are it's not a stamping, what is that, laser etched? So I've written the number on there, it's easier to see then that way when it's installed. So 1 is in the 2, we're moving it to the 3, so this will be the 3rd and final position. Going backwards, snaps in, locks in, rotate around. And the number 3. And now where are we? So we're in the 3rd position. The 1, where's the 1? So now the 1 jaw is where we started with the 3 jaw. So I call it the 3rd position. That looks pretty good. Let me 0 it. I don't know that it's better than it was though. We're down to 1,000th at one point, weren't we? So that's almost 2 because I didn't have it zeroed real good. Yeah, that's 2. I'd call that 2. And let's rotate the bar around 180. So we'll take 3 and rotate that to the bottom. I can't see it, so I'm close, but and I'm not terribly concerned about that. Find the low spot. That looks like I shouldn't have touched it. And so that's, that's going to be 3 because it's dipping below the 0 there. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's 3. So I think it got worse when I rotated it. I'm going to rotate it back up where it was. That's where we were when we started, and I thought it was 2. Yeah, that's still about 3. So that didn't really change it any. So let's go back to the initial position, and that should, if my memory's right, we should be back at 1,000th run out. So we're going to put the 1 back where it was in the 1 slot. Which is right there. And the 2. And 3. Who wants to bet I can't get 1,000th out of it again? I don't remember where I should have written down where this was when we were getting 1,000th. It looks better to me, but it's not 1,000th. Pretty close though. It's more than 1,000th, but it's not 2, I don't think. Let me try and, right there's the low spot. Yeah, it's like 1.5. It's probably not 1.5. And this is just 1,000th indicator. I don't think I have anything better than that. I got about 2 or 3 of these. I should look and see. I got a dial test indicator. That would probably be better. It's so darn tiny you guys wouldn't be able to read it. So there's 1.5. Let's rotate the bar and see what we got. Yeah, that made it worse. It went to 3. Can you guys see that okay? Looks like 3 to me. Let's go back to where we were, see if it goes back down to 1 or 1.5. There's the 180. Try to get this thing back where it was, a little jiggle. Yeah, that's 1.5. So, for what it's worth, now I can label, I'll probably put a dot on the back of this jaw. I think Tinker John was the guy that, the last one I saw. I think I've watched a couple of different videos, but he was doing that, putting a dot. I'll try to mark this jaw so that I can put number 1 back in the same spot. Because you remove these and turn them around if you want to hold from the outside. Is that right? No. I've got another set of jaws that came with that go backwards. But that's that. Question for everybody though, if you're watching, if you're still with me. Now I want to. I'm not sure how to check this deviation, because I don't think this thing. I think I get a little bit of a taper. That's what I'm trying to say. So if I were truing something up, doing a cut this direction, I think it gets. Is it bigger or smaller? I don't remember. And it's probably not terrible, over a couple inches, but I'm pretty sure it's not true. It's not parallel or concentric. So I've never done any real scientific or adjustments. I've never moved or adjusted the tailstock. I don't very often do anything between centers. I do drilling, of course. I do center drilling, that sort of stuff. But anyway, got comments, go ahead and leave them. I love to have the discussions, and we'll see you next time.